All right, so we are going to do some basic stuff here. And because many of those of you that watch or / listen, you're like, dude, I know how to cut a tomato. Okay,
I
but
don't.
like some of us, let's just say that we are in first grade with the food world. Okay,
Obviously,
so,
I don't even know how to peel stuff. So.
okay, so tomato. If you've ever cut a tomato, it's very important to have a serrated knife or a super duper sharp knife, okay?
I knew that.
And so all we're going to do, we're going to make it flat on one side. Why do we do that?
Does it roll over?
It doesn't roll over. Same, like especially if one is going to do cantaloupe or
Yeah,
watermelon or something like that. And or anything that grows beneath the ground would be like a rutabaga, a carrot, a potato. They're very, very dense. They call them tubers. They're very dense, so it's real easy for them to roll.
Okay.
And they're hard to cut through. Like and very much so if you've ever cut a butternut squash.
Oh, they're the worst.
They're very difficult to cut through. It's super dense. So it's important for safety just to do that. Now, what I do is I am not a fan of the middle, so I take the outside out. So we're going to start at the top, end right at the bottom, right?
You're not a fan of the middle?
I'm not a big fan of the middle and now the middle I will use for sauce. Okay, but like this would be what they would call sometimes call it coulis or what's the other term that they use? I can't think of the name of it, but
Okay, I do that. Yay me.
Okay.
so you're gonna make julienne with it, and you get these little kind of basic dice just like that. Okay, and I'm gonna do it more.
Sous chef today.
It'll be a little bit easier to see with our bell pepper.
So now, like, I do that, but I do that, but I have the whole tomato. I never.
You do the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's all blech everywhere.
Yeah.
So.
Now the bell pepper with this, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take all the seeds out.
That is not what I do.
Just
Do you
like
do that? That's not what I do.
Okay. So when you cut it.
Easier, see?
When you cut it, it's easier to cut it with the vein in the middle, okay? Because nobody wants to eat that. That part is very bitter. So we're going to take that out. Okay. So you take that off. Okay. You already knew this.
No.
Okay, so now what we're going to do is
Look how straight that is.
I know.
so we're going to do a julienne now. So you know that, right?
Yeah, do this.
So knuckles, not fingertips.
Yes.
I've had stitches in all these fingers because of that reason. Not good. Okay, so we're just gonna do a julienne.
Okay, I do
Look
that.
how pretty that is.
It is very pretty.
Okay.
And
Basically that's what we're gonna do. Now, if you do it, if you take the julienne, then you go it the other way. If it's larger, it's called a dice. If it's middle, it's called a mirepoix. And if it's super small, it's called a brunoise. Okay.
what's a mince?
A mince would be
A brunoise?
A mince would be actually smaller than a brunoise.
Oh,
So that's more what we would talk about a brunoise.
okay.
Look how,
Okay.
like, perfectly.
I know.
That is-
Right? Yeah,
That's
mine are
basically-
never that
Yeah.
symmetrical.
But see, okay, now we know that we were missing a middle
yeah.
step, which is taking that out and then take that little. vein
Yeah, I
and
always
the-
just like
Yeah.
slice down and just like
Well, you can do
Leave
that
the
too.
stem
it
and
depends on
everything
like
out.
what you're making, right? I mean,
Now-
like for instance, this would be like a dice.
oh, that's bigger. Okay.
That would be a dice. So if somebody like if you're gonna make like gumbo
Yeah.
or something with this, right? That would be perfect, or stew or something like that.
Yeah.
I would still probably cut it smaller because
I was gonna say that's big dice.
Yeah.
Now, don't do that with like jalapenos because then your whole hand
Yeah.
will burn for like 3 days.
indeed.
One
Yeah.
time I thought I was having a heart attack because I had pain in my hand and my arm.
Oh yeah.
But it was because
Yeah.
a shooting pain, okay? I just diced jalapenos.
Okay, now with the onion.
Okay, this is. See, I asked for this because I literally was like, I don't know how to dice an onion. Like, how do you
Yeah.
properly dice an? Oh, you wow.
So with the onion, what I do, some people will say to leave the stem on so it holds it together. I never do, and I would say most of those in the food world never do. They will often say that if you refrigerate the onion, it won't make your eyes cry. I've not found that to be the case. So
I thought I was doing something wrong, so that makes me feel better
no.
because I was still crying.
Yeah. Now what I do is I save all the scraps and make stock out of it. Now, so what we're going to do first is we're going to do a mince. So, and my knife, I'm just going to leave. I'm not going all the way through. I'm just going through about 3/4 of the way.
We should have made pico.
Oh.
So just like that.
Genius. Okay, I never knew that.
So, and that's, and so basically, like if we're going to do something like a pico or something like that, that's basically what we do, right? And then you can go straight down like that, all the way down for, like if you're going to make, what do they call it, onion marmalade or something like that. It's really good with pork. Or a dice, same thing. What I do is I'll cut down against the grain there in the onion, and then cut into it, right, and then go down on it like that. But it's really it's interesting because like people sometimes ask the difference between a yellow onion, white onion, red onion, and then green onion, of course.
Yeah.
And so, and one is definitely more astringent. So like the red onions, they tend to have a lot more in Mediterranean cooking, generally speaking. White onions and yellow onions in French cooking and Italian cooking. And then green onions a lot. We see that a lot more. You see it a lot more in the Mediterranean cooking too, but and also in Middle Eastern cooking, they use it a lot. So it kind of depends on what one is doing. Typically with green onions, what they call scallions, they don't cook those. Whereas the others are cooked. And so it's kind of good to have. Typically, when we talk about dicing or chopping something, it'd be a dice, mirepoix, brunoise, mince.
Okay.
And then they also have other variations there, like julienne and stuff. Back in cooking school, they used to actually have, the chefs would have on their keychain a ruler. And they would come by and measure it. And if it was not 1/8, they'd make you throw the whole bag out and do the whole thing again. Which is not a big deal with an onion, but when you have a 50-pound bag of carrots, and that's a lot.
My stuff will be flying everywhere.
So, yeah, it was. That's why chefs use language they shouldn't, for that reason.
Probably why they smoke, too.
Yes.
And drink
saying.
tequila.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Thank you, Padre.
Yeah, it's kind of good to know some of this stuff.
Yeah, now he's probably going to put us to the test and bring the ruler out.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
Yep, no, we're leaving.
Next time.
Okay.
Next time we're
Yeah,
doing that.
no, he didn't cut all the way through when you minced it. Or
Yeah.
you didn't cut all the way to the end.
Yeah, no, I
That's-
didn't. No, so I kept that, and it kind of, because I was doing this. Now, if I was gonna do like the caramelized onions for pizza or whatever, I would do it just straight down like
straight
that
down.
and take that end off, right, and just go all the way down just like that. And now, what one can do if you're doing a mince too, you can take. I wouldn't do it with a serrated knife, but you can take 2 knives like this. Looks dangerous, but it's actually not too dangerous. And so if you take it and you put your index finger between them, hold them up like that, right? Like let's say I have 2 knives that size. You hold it up like that. You go down on it like that. It'll mince it in twice the time.
That's
right.
dangerous.
And so
Genius.
you just go down like
Very
that.
genius. I mean, you're doing more, but
So
my tiny little hands
but you see
can't.
that, like, my finger's nowhere near it.
Yeah.
So people, if they don't know better, they think that's dangerous, but it's nowhere near it,
Yeah.
right? So that's all you're doing is just going down just like
Yeah.
that, right?
I could totally look like a you-know-what in the kitchen with that.
You know what I do? Is I would watch that bad cook, whatever she's on TV, and I would do you put it down and you just go, and I felt so cool. And then Emma was like, "You're going way slower than she." And I was like, "I thought I was like speeding through this," and she's like, "No, you're like." And I was
A
like,
prophet
going,
is never appreciated,
Yeah.
Sylvia.
I know.
It won't be till after you're gone. They said she was so good
She
with
was
the
so
knife.
good. She was
Right?
so good with the knife.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you, Padre.
You're welcome. You're
Nice.
welcome. Cool
Hey,
stuff.
this
Next
was
time.
all totally selfish of me because I was like, I'm sitting there going, okay, we do this podcast, we do all of this stuff, but when I'm in my own kitchen, I'm like, I don't know how to properly dice an onion.
Well, I did.
Yeah.
I'm Mexican. I have to make pico.
Yeah.
Now, have you seen those people that like cut it in half, Father, and they cut it in their hand like this?
Oh yeah, I never
They
did
let-
that.
And then they go.
Yeah, I
And
never
it's
do that.
falling off their hands in like tiny little pieces.
I never,
It's dangerous.
Yeah, I don't do that. Now, some people,
no,
like
no.
with smaller onions or garlic or whatever, Julia Child used to do that. They would take a paring knife and peel it like that. I never did that. There is what they call, what are they, a tournée. Have you ever heard of
No.
tournée? So they would take a knife like this, a paring knife upside down, and a mushroom, and then go down on it, and it looks like a sundial at the top. So if I had mushrooms, I would kind of show you, but they do this a lot in classic French cooking.
Yeah.
And so it's, but it's kind of good to know some of this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
It's the basics.
Now we have a big bowl of onions, so
This
I
is the
know.
best teaching
Now
top
I'm like,
ever.
are we gonna saute this down? Make some